Alright, we're taking the Minn Kota head off of Charlie motor. We're mounting this on a kayak. Um, gotta have that B-walk. Gonna need a long bit. A couple of these are short, well, they're all short screws, but like this one only goes up in like this, but this one goes all the way up in. So you need a longer bit to get in there, or a screwdriver. First time taking a head off of a trolling motor. Everybody does these things different. I've watched a ton of videos, lots of different guys. Everybody's got great ideas. But we're going to work on kind of a contraption of everybody's ideas, kind of tweak them here and there along the way. I think we'll have a good idea. So what I have is a Sin 128T. I have a couple of these actually. There's another one right there. Gonna set up the same way. It's been a great kayak for paddling purposes. I like it. It's pretty stable. It's kind of hard to keep up with a paddle though and fish at the same time. All these trolling motor ideas just seem like an outstanding idea. I like it. Here's the foot pedals for your stability when you're paddling. So we're gonna pull this clip right here out or off, or cut it off. Haven't really studied that part yet. And we're gonna run steering guides from the trolling motor down through. I'm thinking I'm going to put an insert, maybe like right in here into the hole. I don't know yet, not 100% certain. I see a lot of guys, they put like little guide rings inside. That may be the way to go. Back this way, there's a flat spot right here. Thought of maybe even putting it in right there. But it will go up and tie into that foot pedal right here. And then the other one's on the other side. And by pushing your feet left and right, you'll be able to steer this trolling motor. So this is another different type of project. Seems like a lot of guys are running 30-35 pound truss. When I first saw this idea on another YouTube video, I thought it was amazing, so I started looking for trolling motors, and I found a special. This is a Minn Kota 50, Endura 50. So, it's a 50-pound thrust kayak, or excuse me, trolling motor. The biggest thing was it was on sale, and it was like, I think like 150 something. This is 2023. As funny as it sounds, I purchased these trolling motors back in, I think, around 2020. They've been sitting in a shop for almost 3 years. Got busy. I'm a building contractor as well, so you know, sometimes my times are limited, but got a good friend who religiously loves to kayak fish, and he's like hooping and hollering for me to go with him. So I'm gonna get set up and get back in it. Been fishing my whole life ever since I was like a little kid. My parents run a quail hunting plantation. South Georgia, we had 8,600 acres of land with 11 all natural fish ponds, and the bass were just crazy there. We fished these ponds with John boat, but lo and behold, if I'd have had one of these back when I was like 14, I don't even know if I'd be able to make this video today. It'd probably be off the chain somewhere. But this is where we're at. You got a screw here in the back also, and then you have a couple around the outside. We're going to pull those out, take a look. Let's set this thing up. You're going to see what it's like to pull the cover off this thing. A 50-pound thrust, 12-volt, 5-speed enduro. 159 bucks. Thought that was a hell of a deal. So as you see inside of this thing, this is a long arm for your tiller handle, and then this is the actual switch with the wires going in. I hear guys saying you only need the red and the black. Well, you know, this is all I need. We'll take this and direct link it to a plug that in turn goes to the battery source. So we're gonna take a look and see, figure out what it's gonna take to make this happen. Alright, so with this, we will be putting a pulse wave modulator in with it. They say that reduces the amount of energy coming from the battery and only gives the trolling motor the minimum amount it needs to perform a particular speed. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forward, and a 1, 2, 3 in reverse. This arm right here connected to the switch, got one little screw in there that pull out, and then that'll come out. After you pull that out, you should be able to I always like to put the screws back in, that way you don't lose them, in case you ever decide to put it back together. You don't have to bag them up, keep them and all that. We're going to pull the covers off of it all completely. So I think what I'll do is wait. Once I get the bottom cover off, we'll screw just the cover back together to itself. That way it's in one piece. Alright, so there's a switch. Switch cover. I'm hearing from other people all you need is the red and the black, which I'm assuming would be your main line. So what we're going to do, pull these. Like so. Alright, so this red and black plugs in to the switch. And you can feed it out. And you got all that by itself. Now, the red and black itself comes out of the switch. I'm assuming these are what we're going to connect to. But we'll unplug those, red and black, and then we have a white and a yellow. So it is marked on the bottom of the switch what to hook each wire to. About time somebody did something like that. Alright, so we have one main screw in the back of the cover that goes through the shaft. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Alright, sitting in the sun, as you can see, phone shut off, quit recording. We pulled the head off, got the cover off of it. I've heard some guys say they put like a 3/4 90 on top of the shaft with the wires running through it to help keep water from getting in the shaft. You get water in the shaft, it goes down shaft into the electric motor. Potentially may not be good, especially salt water. I've also heard other guys say they used a 1-inch coupling like this. So yesterday when I went to the Ace Hardware, I went ahead and picked up a 3/4 and a 1-inch. Turned out the 1-inch is way too big. 3/4. So I put a 1/2-inch threaded female end on there. What we're going to do with that, we're going to put this on as well onto the 3/4. What it's going to look like. Get this thing open. So basically what this is going to look like is something kind of like this coming off of the shaft. This has a rubber O-ring in it. This nut right here, this shiny part, we'll be taking that off. This is actually an electrical conduit fitting for like going into an electrical box or a panel. But today it is kayak gear. That nut, we'll take it off, so then that O-ring right here, you see that black O-ring in there, will seal tightly. This 3/4 fitting is closer, a whole lot closer than a 1-inch. The 1-inch is just way too big, wobbly on the shaft. 3/4 is actually just a hair too small. You can't get it to go on there. Even try tapping on it a little bit. The shaft's too big in diameter for this. Not very much, but a little. So what we're going to try to do, we're going to do one of two things. I'm going to find a paddle bit that'll go just inside of that and open it up about 1/8 of an inch. or we're going to put a Dremel on it and open it up that way a little. So stay tuned. Alright, so this is what we gathered. The 3/4 coupling for this Minn Kota will be the choice. Like I said, this inside of this is a little too small. So what I wound up having to do was, we got a 1 1/8 hole saw, and it's just enough to take out just a little of the diameter of the inside of that coupling. So what we did was we bored out that coupling a little bit, as you can see, run the wires through it. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the yellow wire and the white wire. Already did the yellow one. Figured I'd show you what I do with these wires instead of cutting them or changing anything. So what we're going to do is just fold it over like so. Let me see if I can't position this to where you can see. So I'll fold this over like this, and so after checking, so it looks like the shaft is fiberglass. It's not a metal shaft. So what I'm going to do is fold this wire over, lay it against itself, and then I'm going to give it a good layer of good electrical tape. And just cover that connector like so. I already did the other one, and I'm going to take this and just tuck it down inside the shaft. It's kind of like, just take it, push it down inside the shaft like so. And then we'll take that coupler and slide it down with pre-drilled holes in the shaft or in the coupler. We'll take that and put a nut in there on the other side. So what we're going to do, we're going to seal this thing before we put it on there. In the construction business, we around here have this clear silicone called Lexel. It's by far been the best sealant I've ever seen. So we have that sealant on there now. I'm going to take the original screw that come out of the head. I put a rubber washer with a steel backing on here. one on the front side as well. Then I'm going to put the nut back on. 3/8 nut, Phillips head bit. And now that's pretty solid. It's got a silicone sealant on the inside. So next, we're going to take this fitting like I was talking about. We're going to take that nut off of it. It has a rubber washer on there. We should be able to take these and feed them through. That should be pretty waterproof right there. Now, just so you can see, we have this fitting with that rubber washer on it. That washer is actually off of a metal roofing screw. It's got a metal backing with a rubber washer under it. I took it off the roofing screw and took the washer and put it on this screw. This is the original screw that went through the housing. Once we did away with the housing, that screw was just a tad too long, actually. I run out of threads. So once I put those washers in there, it gave me took up enough of thread length that I was able to put the nut on. Not only did I get a good rubber seal on each side, it helped use to take up that space. So this shaft is fiberglass. I guess it's a pretty good idea as far as corrosiveness nowadays. So we put this fitting on here. It's got a rubber washer on it. As you can see, we tightened it down pretty good. So this is adjustable right here. This is your adjustable height for your trolling motor depth. Right now, we are in the keel. We're a little deep. Alright, so this is your vertical lock. We're going to pull this out. Take this, put it over here. What we're going to do is put this in place of it as our steering guide. What we're going to do, drill a hole big enough for this eye bolt to go through. This hole isn't quite big enough. I may have an eye bolt a little too big, but it's not going to take much. It did not take much at all. Now, so you can see what I did. This had a little wing nut that goes on it. This clamps up and down, or clamps on. So what I'm gonna do, I drilled that hole out a little bit. I'm going to use a coupler. See if I can. What I'm doing is using a coupler like this to connect these two together, like so. Now, what I like to do is figure up about half of that. And I'll pull that nut up to where when I screw this on, I know I'm about halfway down once I touch that nut. I'm going to stick this through there like so. And I'm going to screw them together. It's maybe too long. I may have to. Alright, they hit then. So then you can tighten that nut down. Yeah, I think one of them is just a hair too long. So what I got is kind of off center because of that coupling nut. So what I'm going to do, find that halfway point. Then I'm gonna cut one side off. It's a little short. Down goes the phone. So in other words, what I'm saying is I have more from right here out to here than I do from right here out to there. It's not much, but kind of OCD when it comes to little things like that. So I'm gonna definitely get it closer. So what I'll do is wind up, I'm gonna screw this one out and I'm gonna cut a little bit off of it and then thread it back in. Alright, so what we did was cut that eyebolt off a little bit. In all honesty, I cut off about that much, just to kind of shift the difference. So now that I got it cut off, I should be able to screw this side in. Be real close to the same length each way. This is going to be that tightens the shaft. Into its own shell. Alright, so with that being said, that's what you got. This will be your actual steering guide. I've still got enough left over here. I think what I'm going to do, put a nut on it so I can lock it tight. It seems to be fairly easy to move or break loose with your hand. I'm going to put that nut on there, screw it in until it hubs up, and then use this nut as like a jam nut. anything's gonna come loose now. Alright, so everybody I see using paracord or weed eater cord. I like the weed eater cord idea. So we're probably gonna go along those lines. We're set up like this now. We got a steering mechanism. So what we did was go through that clamp right there. We got our trolling motor. We'd probably be a little deep on, we'd be close on 2 foot of water. May have to do some depth change. Probably. We're going to do that lift. That vertical lift idea. That'll help change it on the depth change a little bit. Alright. There we go. There's our electrical coming down. There's our steering guide. Turn left and right. We're going to work on running the main lines for our steering. Okay guys, alright, so I had to take a little break. I had to run to Ace Hardware, run to the parts stores, having trouble finding the right trailer plug or a compatible set. There was one half, either the part that goes under the truck and no piece that goes to the trailer, or one piece that goes to the trailer and no part that goes to the truck. So where we left off, I decided to use a piece of Romex conduit type flex. It's the kind with the plastic coil inside, no metal in it at all. So it's waterproof, UV protected. Connect to the quick coupler. And I come down and I got this plug. I went ahead and drilled a hole, connected this plug, put some Lexel sealant around that plug as well. I was looking for the regular black plug like this, but they didn't have one. They had a red one, clear, with a light bulb inside of it. So I'm assuming that when the power is on, this plug is going to glow red. I thought that was kind of cool. So we have the trolling motor wired into the plug. We have the other plug. We cut a hole with a hole saw, put Lexel sealant under here, and then mounted it and put stainless steel screws in it. It is wired all the way through, and I went ahead and just wild pulled the wires, so they're coming out the front up here. We're going to get us some little extra wire, cut it off, and get ready to sample with it just to see if it's hot. We'll go from there. Alright guys, I went with the weed eater string on the guides or the steering cable. I don't know just yet how much I like it, but, so what I done after I got these connected, I drilled a little tiny hole in the hole right here, pretty much on that angle. It's a pretty giving angle, not too excessive. I run that through that little bitty hole. It ain't much bigger than the weed eater string itself. It runs down right through this channel edge right here. It goes in between the rod holder and the hole on this side, and it goes straight on down, and it comes out right here and goes to the pedal. As you can see right there, it comes out right there, goes down. Same thing with the other side. Goes in right there. Identical. Identical spot. Comes out on the back corner for the steering guide. Again, this one little bitty hole. I know everybody says don't drill holes in your kayak, and I agree. I don't think you should drill any crazy bunch of holes. Nothing more than what I'd say necessary. I don't feel like that little bitty hole is going to create no major water issue. I bought some rubber grommets right here that I was going to use. Smallest I could find at the parts store. You drill a hole, put the grommet in, and then punch a little hole in the grommet. But you got to drill a 5/8 inch hole for this grommet. So that's a much larger hole than what that is. I think that is actually like a let's see. That is one step up. That's an 11/64 bit. That is in between a 5/32 and a 3/16. So I'm gonna give that a run. If I don't like it, you know, I can always reroute it, fill that hole full of silicone, Lexel. I've set in there and kind of got adjusted to where I think my feet need to be for this. Of course, there'll be some fine tuning. I got this thing setting up on top of a scaffold buggy, so really didn't want to set it up there and flip off on the ground or something crazy. I have run my power. It is still running wild. I gave itself a little extra slack till I figure out exactly what I want to do. If I want my batteries in the front or I want my batteries back there in that hatch. See a lot of guys that put their batteries in that hatch. I also see some guys that put their batteries in this hatch. I will be running the pulse width modulator. I haven't went and purchased batteries yet for this. I do have my pulse width modulator. It is right here. For the pulse width modulator, it has a negative, positive, negative, positive. It has a dial here. For the speed. I'm assuming this would be my forward and reverse. This is all new to me, so I haven't really tried to sample with this yet. If I get time tomorrow, I'll see about putting this thing together and seeing if I can't get it to do something. As of right now, we'll just have to see. But that's it, guys. I don't know much else I can do at this point. 100%. There's my yak power under there. Somehow or another, I'm going to intertwine the yak power into this. I haven't really looked into that as either. But I am going to wire it in to where these outlets have power, so I can put bow lights on it and stern lights over on the other back corner. There's one additional outlet on the Ascend that's right here in the middle by the seat. I have looked at these plugs. For these, like I say, I don't know a whole lot about this thing. I know there's a bunch of YouTube videos. I'll probably look into those and see what we can do to get that thing wired up. But at this point, probably next video, we'll work on doing that one over there. That is also a 128T. Bought one of these brand new 3 years ago. It was like right around $1,100 or so total. We drove over to Destin, Florida, to the Bass Pro Shop from Panama City. It was about an hour and 20-minute drive. Bought this thing right here brand new, and I got it home, and honestly it was sun faded. The seat was sun faded, the kayak was sun faded, and after I got back set it down in the yard and got to looking at it. It had scuffs on the bottom, and I was convinced that it was a used kayak. So I contacted Bass Pro Shop, and they sent me a brand new kayak via UPS, and we returned this one. And then about a month later, I was looking on Marketplace, and some folks had this one for sale, and paid $500 for it. Mine is the Ascend 128T, and this one here is the Ascend 128T. It's got a little more color to it than the one I originally had. But we're gonna put these things together, get them ready to go fishing. This one's got to be cleaned up a little bit, but there you go, guys. All right, brother. I still got to hook up my battery source. But other than that, I got the steering run. Got everything set up. Plugged in.